Hey guys, Brent here from brentmailphotography.com. In this quick tip tutorial, I'm going to show you how I took an image from this, which is straight off the camera of a kookaburra photographed in a natural setting, to this. How did I go from this, which is blown out, highlights everywhere, looks yuck, you can barely see the kookaburra, to this, which is a pretty decent shot. Stick around and watch. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of my image. So let's go down here. There we go. So that's how it came in. Alright, and you can see the highlights just totally blown out there because I've got the little highlight clipping, the clipping showing where the image is totally clipped. So the first thing I did when I got this image in here is to run through the white balance. So let's have a look. So we can go to as shot or we go to daylight. I might go to daylight because I know it's in the sun, so I know that should be pretty close to the white balance. We might just go a little bit more this way and a little bit more this way because that looks a little more natural to me. Alright, so exposure, obviously we've got to bring the exposure down a little bit. But what I'm doing nowadays is I actually go to the whites and the blacks. So what I might do is hold down shift, double click on the whites. Alright, and double click on the blacks. Okay, so the whites didn't do too much. Alright, so it stayed at 0 and the blacks gone up to +9. Then I actually go up to the contrast. I won't adjust the contrast yet. Let's pull the highlights down a little bit more. There we go. So now we haven't got too much clipping. It's not totally overexposed on the kookaburra's chest and head there. The shadows, I won't do too much for that. The whites, we can go down a little bit more. I don't think it's going to do too much, no. So I might just go down a little bit on the whites there. Alright, perfect. Let's go up to clarity. We crank that up just a little bit to make it really nice. Vibrance, little. Okay, perfect. Alright, so already the image is looking so much better than how it looked before. So let's just hit the backspace button to show you before. There we go. And this is where we are right now. So already it's looking a lot better. And you can see I photographed this image with the Fujifilm X-T1, a mirrorless camera with the 50 to 140 f2.8 lens, which is just a great combination for photographing wildlife. And I photographed it at f2.8. I love the shallow depth of field I can get, and I wanted to get it because I wanted these trees in the background to be out of focus, and I'm shooting at the full range that this lens goes to, 140 millimeters at f2.8. I love lenses when I'm shooting with these really professional grade lenses. I want to shoot them at their maximum effectiveness, so like the longest that they zoom out and the widest aperture that I can get. I love that. Alright, so let's cruise down, keep going down. Lightroom over here. Tonal curve, won't worry about that. Hue, saturation, luminance, won't worry about that. Detail, yes. Let's pull that one up. So, alright, let's just make sure we get this bird, this kookaburra, nice and sharp. So I always focus on the eye and we can sharpen this one a little bit. Now, the great thing about the sharpening with Lightroom is the masking bit. So I hold down Alt and I just move this all the way across here by clicking. Now the white bits in this image are going to be sharpened and the black bits aren't going to be sharpened. So I don't want to sharpen the background too much. I want to definitely sharpen the eyes and the beak and everything of this bird, but I don't want to sharpen the background because it's blurred for a reason. So I've used the mask there to stop the sharpening, and I'm going to crank this up a little bit more just to get that eye really sharp. There we go. And you can see there's still a little bit of highlights on the beak of this kookaburra, but I'm not going to worry too much about that now. The noise reduction, so let's go look at the background. It looks like there's a little bit of noise in the background there, so if that's 86, I might move that up to like 20 or 15 or whatever. So 86 plus the noise reduction equals 100, and that's what Johnny's taught me in his Lightroom courses. Alright, so that looks good to me. We got color noise reduction. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, lens corrections. Normally what I do is I enable the lens profile correction here, but for some reason I don't have the profile, so it's doing nothing. Normally you would have the profile for the lens. I don't know why I don't have it. Maybe I need to upgrade my Lightroom. And then the effects is the last one. Oops, over here I will move that to, so that's the vignetting. So you can vignette this whole image. Obviously you don't want to go overboard, and you want to definitely feather it quite a long way out there. So you just want a little bit. So we'll go back to 0 and I'll move it down a little bit. Okay, so there we've got an image that's looking a lot better now. Let's go right to the top here, and we might even crop it. I think I may have already cropped this image. No, I haven't. Alright, so let's crop this image a little bit. I'm going to crop it over here. I might go like that and move it around a bit. So I'm going to use the rule of thirds a little bit and have the bird up in the top area over here, the rule of thirds. Okay, and I've cropped it. Alright, so there, it's looking a lot better now. Let's have a look at the before and the after. Okay, much better. Alright, so I'm still got a little bit of too much highlight on this on the Kookaburra where the sun was hitting it, so I might go and add some radial filter there just to stop that. So let's go over here, let's cruise around. Whoops, okay, there we go. There's my radial filter. Let's move it over the bird, right over there. I might make it a bit bigger. Cool. Let's move it down a bit. Turn him around a bit. Okay, so there's my radial filter. Now I can take the exposure way down, but that looks a little weird. No, that's too much. So I might just take it down a slight bit, but it's more the highlights that I want to take down on the front of the bird there. Okay, I've got a nice feather there. I might feather it a little bit more. I could warm up the tones if I want to, but let's have a look at what this filter is actually doing. So let's go filter off and filter on. It's just taking a little bit of the highlights away from the bird, and so that it's not totally blown out. You'll see the effect over there on its bill. You can see the little red marks there that tells me that it's totally overexposed, and when I use that radial filter I've toned that down a little bit. Perfect. Alright, so that's it, guys. There's my Kookaburra, and you know, this was almost a throwaway image because I thought the highlights were way too blown out, but look at it now. It's looking a lot better. Let me just close this filter and show you guys. Let's go to the before image. Hit the backspace key. There's the before image, kind of unusable with the highlights, and there's the after image. So much more natural. It's actually not a bad shot. The last thing I might actually do is take a little bit of the highlights off this tree trunk over here because it's taking my eye away from the bird. So what we'll use there is the graduated filter, and I'll drag it in from the left here. There we go. Cool. And we might just go same thing as before, just bring the highlights down on that tree, and we might even just bring the exposure down a little bit, just darken it a bit from the left. Cool. And we'll move this over here. So that's taken some of the light down from the left there on the tree. Perfect. That's done. Alright. So that's a lot better. There's the before and there's the after. Wow. That's amazing. Let's have a look at this image as full screen. I might get rid of that Control I, get rid of the information there, and I just hit there's the before of the bird, the Kookaburra in the tree, a shot that's almost a throwaway shot because of the highlights, and there's the after, which I think is a lot better. It definitely draws my eye into the Kookaburra's eyes looking at me. I think he was interested in what I was eating at the time, and I've got a really nice soft background there. The last thing I might do is actually just get rid of those highlights up there. So let's do that quickly. I know I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but anyway. Here we go. So radial filter. That is my radial filter. We can have a new radial filter here. So let's go to new radial filter. Okay, cool. And I might just get a radial filter up there to get rid of those highlights. Great. Bring the highlights down a bit. That's it. We might even bring the exposure down a bit. Not too much. Perfect. All right. So that's looking a lot better now. All right, let's close this. Done. Okay. So what do you guys think? Do you think I saved this image? There's the before and there's the after. Please leave me comments below. This is Brent. Have an awesome day.